Odysseus-The Epic Myth of the Hero, Book 8. Now forces joined in battle for the corpse of merciless Achilles, golden armor gleaming bright, each fighter eager for the weary work, hoping deep inside to strike the final blow for vengeance there that day. Foremost among the fighters was myself and greater Ajax, cousin to Achilles, the tallest and broadest of the Achaeans now, whose ox-hide shield was like a mountain face and tough to pierce as fired, hard-pressed rock. We anchored rings of men to either side, surrounding fallen, short-lived, disappointed Achilles. There, resplendent so in death, attired in golden, god-forged armor, poise and foam that marred his lips now wiped away by brave Machaon, master of Centaur healing, fair arrow fletchings snapped and barbs shoved through the heel, such a small and far-flung wound to fell this terror-loving man, the son of Peleus. 11 fighters dear to Troy released their souls that day through wounds I dealt by spear. It was my time of battle, then where none yet walking tall on Mother Earth could stand my force. I saw each move of thousands at a glance, and sensed all casts and thrusts before I saw them come, my eyes confirming what I knew already, mired in unpredictable war. Abdera, son of battle, ruthless Neleus's boy, stepped out in front of Trojan's shield walls first and bid me do my worst. I hurled my bronze-tipped spear, and straight it flew and cut clean through his shield and ripped the flesh from elbow to armpit, severing the fulsome artery, spraying blood. His cheeks blanched white, and there he fell face first upon the spear, driving home the blade. Agamedes, cunning warrior, came to seek revenge for fallen friends. He hurled his spear, but missed my shield far high and wide. He cursed and drew his sword and ran at me. I aimed my stabbing spear above his shield's broad rim and found a soft and unprotected place where collarbone and throat unite. He fell, his air gurgling in his severed windpipe like an ancient man who hawks to spit. And then the mighty, strong, and forceful Crates raged and lifted up a stone of crushing weight and threw. It landed square upon my shield, and maybe then a god forestalled my fate because it shattered like a dirt clod. I ran my spear into his groin, and Crates toppled, writhing on the blade. The next dear son of Troy, to try my skill at arms, refused to give his name and kept it hidden from me then. He said he did not kill for glory nor for gain, but only as a service for his native land. I later learned his name was Creophonimos, a cousin of Prince Aeneas. He threw dead center on my shield, but it deflected, flying toward the men off to my left, and found the heart of dear Euripides, my old and trusted herald. Blind with rage, I closed with him and butted shields and knocked him back. His shield came up enough to stab his gut above his genitals. His bowels slid out the slash and fell upon the soil, and steamed before he toppled dead upon them there. Antiponios came forth and spoke these grinding words to vaunt. My mother bore me to this world to feel the pains and punishments of others here, so now I'll gladly add your own to all the rest I've undergone in war. Fool! My spear pierced shield and breastplate, skin and bone and heart, and came out through his failing back. He fell as would a distant clap of thunder, armor clattering upon him, nose to sky, my spear still wobbling in the perfect wound. I ground my heel into his gut and wrenched it free. Now like a boar, wild Orcus rushed me next. This son of gold-rich Thrace came to Troy to help with Priam's grasping plan to hinder free and open passage of the sea and straight to ships of every land but his. The sea-trading Achaeans might have let the beauty Helen go as price to pass the Hellespont and reach the vast black sea beyond for gold and grain, but rights denied this government as piracy must yield or fall. And so we followed Agamemnon there. Headlong Orcus acted like he never saw the spear fly from my hand. It found his eye and traveled through his brain until the tip just split his skull behind his unhinged spine. Now Zeus's dreadful whimsy bid us humans play a scene for him, and Caproeus, minor prince of Troy, came forth to open ground and challenge. Every year of war I'd faced this clumsy heckler fighting in the forefront. Every year I'd let him go. He had a stupid, honest face and could not stop his smile when warring with the Achaean fighters, claiming that he only fought for gods, to insult rather than kill proud and foolish men. This aging boy desired all the honor war could give, but did not want to get his hands bloody. Fool! To only help by halves when strife demands he watch his comrades' backs. He shamed and angered Hector most of all the Trojans while he lived, and so I never killed the man. He tossed a clod of horse dung at my shield and dropped these sodden words and said, "Odysseus again for number 10. Will you kill me now? I'm here to say that most are wrong who to hold that worms inherit all the best of man at death. The beetle gets that special prize. The beetle building castles out of dung. Your dung, Odysseus, enduring past all hope. Your final dung at death, perhaps this day. I can almost smell it now." I laughed, as best it is with fools, and said, "You cannot scare me with truth like girls men hide from life. I'll laugh in spite of dour outcomes, fool, and so I'll laugh at you and honor you by spear. May your homely name bring luck from gods." I threw and lightly stuck my 10th and last good spear into the shield of Caproeus, melted behind the wall of Trojan shields. Later, sacking Troy, I found his severed head, grinning in a drain that led from Zeus's altar. I then killed staunch Adrastus as he held his ground, then Dysponteos, the master of the rough sea, then drunken Aeneas, then notorious Periphetes, and lastly huge Corinthus, who went to war and swung a mighty club. 11 fell by me that day alone to save the corpse of dread Achilles in the stab, the hack, the blood, the cries, the waste. I would love to think that all could have a second coming here on earth and try again with knowledge from our previous lives to fit ourselves in nature without war. My eyes and all I see conflict at heart with heart, and all the simple things that please elude me. The bigger the man in eyes of fools, the bigger his murders must be. Slicing wounds, raw meat, sticky blood, bones bared, thinking mid-made carrion at whim of kings. Your precious fate, all to you, merely threads woven in a mad tapestry, unwinding as a mystery. I float in an eternity of tears. No need to add more of my own right now. This said, and resolute Odysseus rolled over in the sea and dog-paddled toward the sound of surf until his heart was anchored once again inside his chest and beat the steady drum of striving for the long run. He spoke these wondrous words inside his mega-hearted soul. Look, Calypso's guiding stars are up in heaven, right exactly where she promised they would be, always be for me to set my course. An hour after sunset, the 7 sisters clustered tight in the eastern sky, the Pleiades, chased by great Orion the hunter, slain by jealous gods who live in leisure for presuming to love to Ruby, making love to Ruby's swirling dawn. Now hear my prayer, sea god, or should I say my thought, because it has no plea or reverence. The gods I honor, though I do not understand them, but you, Poseidon, Earthshaker, God that plagues me, listen to my words. Gods that harm mankind are demons, not divinities. Only powerful, a man writ large, And so the defects all men have made monstrous in your evil heart that bears such malice now against my act of self-defense and desperation blinding Polyphemus. Here's a thought, you vicious bully. Make yourself a man and truly walk the earth until the hunger dries you. Feel as do your creatures feel, and see how worthy of a soul you are. Insensate pig of a god, take this dare. Become a man like me. String your strong and curving bow, and I'll bring mine. And meet me then upon the beach at Sandy Pylos, say, and then at 50 paces let our arrows fly. You balk, you coward god, a quaking heart, perhaps, earth shaker. I know why you fear. If you could be a man, you'd be a Hercules at least. But for all your skill, your luck would be your luck. And over that, not even gods can change a thing. Against you, all the accidents of fate might run in my outlandish favor beyond control and skills. Bowstrings snap, fletchlings come unglued in flight, so arrows wobble off the mark, barbs deflect off buckles. A chance breeze may back my skill and blow my shaft into your evil heart. Come into the world of men, jackal-hearted deity, where most things are beyond your reckoning and chance is mystery. Fight and kill or free, poor Odysseus. My suffering can glean no grander end in waters cold and dark and far from land. This said, and brave Odysseus returned his gaze aloft to sweet Calypso's guiding stars, and listened to the ceaseless water sounds and surf. He only swam enough to keep his mouth above the sea and waved his hands and feet to keep them warm. He called to mind her lovely twilight face and spoke her words inside his lasting soul. The bear keep on your left, and go for Boothes setting late, and when the fighting twins are at their height, at an hour after sunset, Castor and Polydeuces will be directly over Ithaca. It is an hour after sunset now, and this is very near my home and high-roofed house amid my father's groves and fields. Not Ithaca as yet, but getting close, a little north, I think. But these are neighbor stars to home. I yearn for dawn as never in my far-flung life in wave and war. More than cold or monsters of the deep, I fear this mystery of experiencing myself.